NaLyssa Smith and Angel Reese both got technical fouls, and things got a little chippy between the two.
Chicago's done a nice job defensively. Nice pass.
Right there.
How did Dejounte hit that to Smith? That was in our line of sight. There wasn't any daylight.
Yeah, the speed and accuracy of that pass.
Now we got some chippiness. Smith and Reese jawing at each other.
A recent altercation between Dallas Wings forward NaLyssa Smith and Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese that resulted in 2 technical fouls has raised serious concerns about the league's ability to uphold professional standards. And the Women's National Basketball Association is dealing with an increasing crisis of player conduct and league oversight. This incident, which coincides with growing concerns about physical play and Caitlin Clark's injury, demonstrates a concerning trend of heated arguments that could jeopardize the integrity of women's professional basketball.
Charles,
give me that! Jesus, dude, when NaLyssa Smith is doing that to you, you know you just aren't ready for it, man. When NaLyssa Smith is D'ing you up, blocking her shot, folks, Angel, you cooked her up last year. What happened?
The most recent incident involving WNBA behavior issues occurred during the Chicago Sky's 94-83 victory against the Dallas Wings, when Angel Reese and NaLyssa Smith got into a furious argument that needed officials and teammates to step in. Reese fouled Smith, sending her out of bounds, and the altercation broke out with more than 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. An ordinary basketball game swiftly turned into something much more worrisome for the league's reputation and player safety regulations.
By the way, this started off by NaLyssa Smith going for a rebound and Angel just shoving her. Just shoving her and then complaining to the refs. And by the way, I don't blame Angel Reese for, shoving people and expecting to get away with it. The referees have shown that you are allowed to shove people and get away with it. Like, that is a given. So,
instead of letting officials handle the situation, Reese complained about the referee's call after the foul was called, which caused Smith to pass her opponent and say something that started the altercation. Reese responded by verbally sparring with Smith, which resulted in a face-to-face altercation that needed teammates to break up the players. Although both players were given technical fouls for their involvement in the altercation, the incident highlights a larger breakdown in player accountability and league governance.
Now, if I was to take bets in this, NaLyssa Smith versus Angel Reese, I'm putting all of my $2.47. I'm putting all of that on NaLyssa Smith. All right, I'm not sure it would be even close. Like, I'm not sure Angel Reese would actually want that to turn into something where hands are involved.
According to reports, the altercation was a part of a long-standing pattern of aggressive behavior between these particular players rather than an isolated instance of competitive fervor. Since the 2024 season, when Reese was a rookie and Smith was still playing for the Indiana Fever, Reese and Smith have been jawing back and forth at one another. This historical background implies that the WNBA has not addressed persistent player interpersonal disputes before they turn into public altercations that harm the league's standing.
What happened last year? Was it the Indiana Fever on the jersey? That made you go extra hard? Was it that other player on that team that was like, oh, that 22, oh, I really want to show her something? Is that what really made it? Because in these matchups against the Dallas Wings, you really haven't been anything special at all. Maybe NaLyssa Smith was tired of seeing her in a meme all offseason. NaLyssa's like, you know what? That next time I play her, I'm not going to let her cook me and do me like that.
Would you kindly subscribe if you're enjoying? The way this altercation played out raises serious questions regarding player self-control and discipline. Smith's anger was visible when she slammed the ball to the ground following the foul, and Reese's choice to go from disputing with umpires to speaking with Smith directly shows a worrying lack of professional discipline. The fact that teammates had to physically separate the players suggests that things had gotten out of hand and into a situation where there could have been more dire repercussions. The WNBA's response to this incident has been notably restrained, with both players receiving standard technical fouls rather than more serious disciplinary action. This calm attitude begs the question of whether the WNBA is effectively addressing patterns of aggressive behavior that could turn into more serious occurrences, as it contrasts sharply with the potentially explosive nature of the dispute. Although the league acknowledges that both players violated professional boundaries with the technical fouls assessed, the absence of further repercussions may indicate to other players that similar behavior bears no risk.
And if you guys don't remember, like even last season, the two of them were getting into it through the entire season. The two of them were getting into it, and you saw literally when the referees tried to break it up, you saw them just go like, don't. Like the two of them want to get into it. And again, this is a rivalry.
The Reese-Smith confrontation cannot be viewed in isolation, but must be understood as part of a bigger pattern of more aggressive behavior that has defined recent WNBA seasons. The most notable previous incident involved Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark during their season opener, where a hard basketball play escalated into a confrontation that required official review and resulted in multiple fouls. During that incident, Clark committed what officials determined to be a flagrant foul on Reese, leading to technical fouls for both Reese and Indiana Fever forward Aaliyah Boston. The Clark-Reese incident provides important context for understanding the current state of player conduct in the WNBA. While Clark characterized her foul as merely a good take foul and stated there was nothing malicious about it, the officials' decision to categorize it as flagrant suggests that even regular basketball plays are being scrutinized more heavily due to the prevailing climate of increased physicality. Clark's professional response to the situation, where she acknowledged the foul while maintaining it should not have been raised to flagrant status, stands in contrast to the recurring pattern of confrontational behavior exhibited by other players. The rise of technical fouls and confrontations alludes to a bigger issue beyond specific player instances. NBA rules impose suspensions after 7 technical fouls, with increased penalties for every 2 after that, indicating the league recognizes this as a recurring problem. However, the ongoing frequency suggests existing remedies may not be enough to deter aggressive conduct.
Through your perspective on the flagrant foul, what was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know. If either Angel gets wide open 2 points, or we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
The growth of on-court confrontations and technical fouls has significant consequences for the WNBA's efforts to establish itself as a premier professional sports league. Basketball fans attend games and watch broadcasts to witness great athletic competition, not to observe players engaging in verbal sparring matches and physical confrontations that detract from the sport itself. Every minute spent addressing player confrontations is time not devoted to showcasing the remarkable skill, athleticism, and competitive excellence that defines women's professional basketball at its highest level. While some players respond to difficult situations by concentrating on their performance and letting their basketball skills speak for themselves, others seem to treat every perceived slight as an opportunity for public confrontation. This discrepancy in professional conduct creates an uneven playing field where some players benefit from the attention generated by controversy, while others are overshadowed despite superior on-court performance. The difference between players who handle adversity professionally and those who consistently engage in confrontational behavior has become more pronounced.
Angel Reese playing like trash all game, but that confidence doesn't waver, I guess, right? The arrogance doesn't waver, right? We could miss layups, we can miss shots, but that confidence doesn't waver at all. I mean, look at this. Angel Reese, after going 3 for 12 on the night, at this point, she has a historic play where she elbows Dejanay out the way, and here we go. Move it, little girl. And yeah, Angel Reese talking that trash. Yeah! You guys can't stop me. I'm 4 for 13.
Given Caitlin Clark's injury, which has kept the league's biggest star out for at least 2 weeks due to a left quadricep strain, the current state of WNBA player conduct assumes even greater significance. The team announced 2 days after Clark's injury that she would be out for at least 2 weeks pending reevaluation. Given that Clark is the WNBA's top attraction for arena attendance and television ratings, this injury is not only a personal setback for her, but also a major loss for the league. Although the specifics of Clark's quadriceps strain have not been directly connected to opponents' aggressive play, the timing of Clark's injury is especially troubling given the increased physicality and combative atmosphere that have marked recent WNBA games. The league's obligation to safeguard its most valuable assets and player safety are called into question by the larger context of more physical altercations. The league's competitive balance and fans' viewing experience are immediately impacted by Clark's absence from the starting lineup. She will miss at least 4 games due to her injury, including some that could have been high-profile encounters that would have attracted a lot of fans and television viewers. Following her injury announcement, Clark's MVP odds changed from 115 to plus 250, indicating the substantial effect her absence has on both competitive expectations and business interests.
So the WNBA might as well just name Caitlin Clark the MVP right now, because so far she's missed 2 games due to injury, and not only have the Fever lost both games, but now in this one, they lost to quite possibly the worst team in the league, which just shows how important of a piece she is to that team. She's averaging 19 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds a game this year in the 4 games she played. She is super important to that team, and it's proving it that she is the most valuable player on that team.
The striking contrast between Clark's professional response to on-court incidents and the confrontational behavior demonstrated by other players has grown increasingly apparent over the current season during the heated incident with Angel Reese. Clark argued that her fall was nothing malicious and represented standard basketball play, demonstrating the kind of mature viewpoint that professional athletes should exhibit when handling on-court issues. Her ability to recognize the penalty while explaining her objectives displays a level of professional communication that serves as a model for how players should handle problematic circumstances. The necessity of safeguarding players who enhance the league's reputation and financial success while she concentrates on basketball performance and professional conduct is highlighted by Clark's injury and subsequent absence. Other athletes seem to place more emphasis on stirring up controversy and creating social media moments, which may garner attention temporarily but eventually damage the sport's reputation. The fact that Clark consistently packs arenas and boosts television ratings while upholding professional standards shows that athletic prowess, not manufactured controversy, is what leads to success in women's basketball.
Going to be out for a couple weeks. Let's see how viewership does in the 3 weeks that she's out. Let's see how ticket sales go when she's out. Let's see how the WNBA as a whole comes out. Because I think they're trying to make a message to the WNBA that, hey, look, we don't necessarily have to put this woman on a pedestal. Like, she doesn't need to be treated like Jesus, Mary, Mother of God, anything like that. But I think if the WNBA wants to go in the right way with these CBA negotiations and getting bigger and more prominent, they need to embrace change. And she is good change for the WNBA.
Although the WNBA's graduated discipline system is intended to give players several chances to change their behavior before suffering harsh penalties, the persistent frequency of altercations and technical fouls raises the possibility that the current penalty structures may not be enough to discourage problematic behavior. The persistence of confrontational behavior by players like Angel Reese in spite of prior instances suggests that current disciplinary measures might not be sufficient to address aggressive conduct patterns. The seeming disparity in the way officials and league executives handle similar instances is one of the biggest obstacles to WNBA disciplinary enforcement. While teams can lose draft picks and coaches can be suspended for violating workplace policies, the disparity between the severe penalties organizations face for policy violations and the comparatively light penalties meted out for on-court altercations points to a misalignment of disciplinary priorities. Players who engage in recurrent confrontational behavior suffer relatively modest consequences that may not effectively deter future episodes. Depending on in-game officials to assess technical and flagrant fouls introduces inconsistency as such. Judgments are inherently subjective and can change based on the crew or game environment. This weakens the deterrent effect of disciplinary policies and leaves players uncertain about acceptable conduct, the league's hesitation to enforce stronger Consequences for repeated aggressive behavior, such as in Angel Reese's case, raises concerns that short-term attention and controversy are being prioritized over long-term professionalism and league integrity. WNBA be expected from all participants in